5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome to the Rita and Ryan Podcast. I'm Ryan.
Dun, dun, dun. Here we are. Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm all
We've
right.
been off for the last 6 weeks on a hiatus.
Yep. Traveling the world and going to exotic locations and
Huge exotic like California.
it's I'm a spy.
Spit it out.
So I was off on a mission somewhere.
You know, the rule to Spy Club is you don't tell people you're a spy, number one. Or are you kind of like an out spy?
I'm sort of an out spy. No one. I wear disguises and prosthetics.
Really?
When I go out.
Is this who you really look like?
Is
this the real you?
Is it?
So you've infiltrated the YouTube market.
Yes.
With the Rita and Ryan show with 3 listeners. And 1 super fan.
The government's weird.
Now, I know you're lying because you always say you don't have any money. So if you were, or is that part of it? That's part of the cover up.
Part of the cover.
Oh, man. Well, you got me.
One of them alphabet boys.
Can you imagine?
Well, no.
Neither. Maybe, I'm not going to talk about that. But not that everyone doesn't know everything we're already doing just by sitting in front of this computer.
I know.
I mean, come on. I mean, right. So
exactly. Stuff we talk about end up on like Facebook ads.
Right.
I've had conversations about specific products. And then there's no reason that it should be in my Amazon ad list. Right. And these specific items are in there. And they're like rare. Or not rare, but like I was talking to John a while back about a specific turntable. Mm-hmm. And then the next day I look on Facebook and that exact model is like in my ads. Like it was...
I think same thing's happening right now on Twitter for me. A friend of mine, because I travel for work, and he said instead of staying in, I usually stay in extended stays because if I go for 2, 4, 5 days, I'll go and get groceries because they have a kitchenette. I'll get groceries, and so it's better than eating out every single night. But anyway, he's like, "Why don't you stay at one of the Marriott hotels?" He said, "Let me tell you," and he gave me a promo code. He said, if you put this promo code in, it'll work. He said, it's connected to the company that I'm doing some work for. I'm like, oh my gosh. And you get a super duper discounted rate. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's great. So I try to set up the account and do everything. Don't think of it. For the last 3 days on Twitter, this very particular Marriott, because they own a zillion different types of hotels, under different names, but they're super elite, super luxurious. They have like a whole Airbnb thing. It keeps coming up. I'm thinking, what? They're listening.
Thanks, CIA.
All right. Well, so the whole thing is that who are we all spying? Are we all part of the big spy?
It's all. I mean, it's really all for advertising purposes. Right. It's all. I actually did one of the YouTube creator surveys the other day for. My Trash Can Conductor channel. Mm-hmm. So while you're watching this video on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the Rita and Ryan channel. But also go to youtube.com/trashcanconductor and subscribe to my channel as well. I have cartoons and music and hopefully more fun stuff. But anyway, so I answered a survey on that. And I was just like, I'm dissatisfied because you all are putting ads on my videos and I'm not monetized. And so,
right.
Yeah, because they put ads on my videos and I'm not eligible for monetization. So if I'm not eligible for monetization, why are you putting ads on my videos?
How dare they?
Yeah, it's
so you need to get 1,000 subscribers, right?
Exactly.
You need to get 1,000 subscribers.
I do, especially if they're going to be just throwing ads on my videos willy-nilly.
Making millions of dollars off you,
yes,
Ryan.
Off of my hundreds of views. Making millions of dollars off of my hundreds of views.
So I was thinking, since we've been on a big hiatus, which has technically been a week, but it seems like a month.
Right.
Because newsflash, Ryan stood me up last week.
I did last week. It was.
He's like totally sorry, but like I got something better to do. Like totally, like see ya, and then that was it.
Yeah.
So that's how he talks. That's how he talks when he's off the.
I like totally flaked.
Exactly.
I was like, yo, I'm going to the beach.
Like I got to do something else, like more important in my life than sit and talk to you for an hour on the computer. So like,
I was actually in another country on a spy mission.
Oh, Ryan, you keep giving away, but here's for all of our fans and kind of giving you a taste of what's to come on the Rita and Ryan show. Ryan, actually, all kidding aside, sometimes it happens. We both have a lot of things scheduled throughout the week, and sometimes we can maneuver. We used to tape on Saturday nights. Now we're taping on Monday nights. And the first week or the second week of Mondays, I couldn't do it. And then last week, Ryan couldn't do it. And so now we're
good though.
It's all good. And now we're going to have guests who probably can't do Monday. So we're going to be, be balancing it. But what's fun about it is Ryan has been working and has the little guest boxes. So we're super excited about that. And we're super excited to involve because we both have other projects that we work on that we kind of want to turn the Rita and Ryan show into a place where not only can we help promote and support other people who work on projects with us, but and then invite their fans to come and watch our show, but also just to be a fun place and a relaxed place just to do what we do, which is talk about whatever comes to my head usually. And then Ryan sits there and says, I have no comment about that. So that's
hopefully a brand friendly place to sponsor Topo Chico.
Jeez. So, but and no matter who the spy is in the group, please do not be scared away. We are not spying on you, right, Ryan?
No, I don't have the energy or the patience to be spying on anybody.
Energy, patience, or the time attention span, right?
Or
like I got really into spying on you, but then I had something else to do.
I got bored. You were just sitting there, so I left.
I know, right? I know. You know what the problem with? I think I would be good on, those surveillance details where you see on movies where cops are just sitting there watching across the street. And I'd be great chit-chatting, going, oh, I could hang out by myself or with somebody. But then I would probably, whoever I was partnered with, drive them up the wall. Because I could feel the state. I could feel the silence just going, and by the way.
And well,
and all of a sudden the murderer walks away.
I don't mind the silence. So, I'm cool with...
kind of hard to do a show, right? You're not talking, though.
We have one recorded where I'm technically not talking because my audio didn't work.
Excuse me.
And it didn't miss a beat.
Did we showcase that or no?
No, I have it on my computer. It's pretty fun.
It'll go in the time capsule.
Yes,
when we're famous.
Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button on the videos. That helps. And fan interaction. I want to anybody listening, if there's anything you would like us to talk about, if you're curious about our opinion on something, that could be dangerous, but I don't know, interaction. What do you want us to talk about? Leave some be like, hey, what do you think about? I don't know.
Yes, and see, this is what I'm trying to say, Ryan.
Just something from the
I
fans.
come up with topics every single week, and you go, I think you've said all there is to say about that. You want to do a quick response? I'll bring up a topic and you respond or not respond.
Well, I mean, sure. This could go either way depending on the subject.
Best Star Trek movie. Movie, not show.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember a lot of them.
So you're more Star Wars than Star Trek?
Yeah, and I like the Star Trek TV show. I got into that later, like the old school ones. But I guess of the movies, the one that I remember the most was I think 4. I think the one with the whales.
Really? You don't remember Khan?
No, I didn't see that until
James Cock.
I didn't see that until way later.
I thought 2 was the best one of all.
And so, no, my Star Trek knowledge is fairly limited, and it's mostly towards the TV shows. I watched those later in life. I met Jonathan Frakes, Riker.
Nice.
Met him, and I was like, okay, this guy's actually kind of cool. I will give Star Trek a chance. Because I didn't even talk to him about Star Trek. I talked to him about Gargoyles, which is this cartoon he did. Yeah. Oh, do you know what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. I was this is actually one of my background days. I was been in few episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Couple different times. And he directed one of the episodes. And normally I wouldn't have talked to him, but it was at the very end and I was leaving. And the person he was standing with started talking to me. And so I was like, oh, hey, man, I love Gargoyles. And he was like, I know, right? That show's too good for TV.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, this guy's cool. So, because Gargoyles, for like a cartoon series, like, it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you can find it on YouTube. Watch it.
Nice.
Anybody who's into good storytelling, quality animation, it really feels like the people behind it actually gave a crap about it.
Right.
You know, which is what I feel like is missing through a lot of stuff out now. Like they're just trying to check boxes instead of create.
What's all the hate for Tim Gunn in directing the Marvel movies?
Tim Gunn.
Does that ring a bell?
No. James Gunn?
James Gunn, I'm sorry.
Wait, what do you mean hate? Is he getting hate?
Yeah, I just saw it briefly and I was like, what?
Okay.
So does James Gunn direct some of the Marvel movies?
He directed I think the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Well, that was a good movie.
I can probably Google that.
So maybe
quick,
it was just
there
was just a little trending thing about people saying if he directs one more Marvel movie, they're going to jump off a building. I mean, it was really dramatic.
Somebody was saying that like because he just recently directed the Suicide Squad. He directed Guardians of the Galaxy. He just recently directed Suicide Squad, and it is apparently like a bomb financially. Like it's been getting great reviews, but because of the like complete flaws in the overhype of streaming systems, like they're not like and with the cross between the pandemic, all of the movies are like just completely bombing in the theaters.
Well, right, because if you think the one movie I saw that came out, the 2 movies I saw that came out very quickly, like within probably 2 days of them being released, was Hamilton and then In the Heights.
Okay.
And because mainly I was interested to see how they were going to do theater.
I heard good things about In the Heights. Like I thought
it was awesome.
It's not my type of movie, but like
I honestly, because I didn't see
heard good things about it. So,
but I do love Broadway. I love musicals, and I always used to watch the Tonys. And I remember when it won, and I watched. Sometimes my daughter and I would go and see shows all over the place. We even had season tickets down in Southern California. We'd go see shows because sometimes the shows didn't come up here into San Francisco. But you usually see a lot. That's why they do the musical numbers. And I remember seeing In the Heights musical number, thinking that's really creative because it was just the first introduction to the rap and singing. So
I saw Rent in London, England in really? 1999.
Wow. I saw Rent in Los Angeles in the theater. I can't remember the name of it. But I'd seen it and heard it so many times. No. It's a big, I'll think of it. It's a big thing. It's named after somebody, the theater. It's not like the Bowl or the Palladium.
Yeah, because there's one right on Hollywood Boulevard, like kind of at Hollywood and Vine, that all the big plays usually go there now.
I don't feel like I was in Hollywood, but okay. I'll double triple check for the next show. But the theater, a lot of things you couldn't see here. So you get season tickets and you get like 6 to 8 shows for the season, and then every month just drive to LA for the weekend. But it's awesome. But yeah, so the issue though is by the time I saw Rent after it had been done a million different times, I thought it was great live. I liked the movie too.
I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, I did. But yeah, there is an art to do, because I'm always interested to see how they do a live performance on a movie or on video. And I know Baz Luhrmann does them great, but yeah, I thought it was really beautifully done, the story, and the In the Heights, and it was fun to. It was because my thing is, does it keep my interest from the beginning to end? Does the story, because they're stories, it's a musical. People stop and start singing right in the middle of work. It's not supposed to be believable in terms of real life, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was working on a musical about assassins about 10 years ago.
Well, that's The Spy in You.
Mm-hmm.
I
thought it would be funny to have like assassins breaking off into song, like while they're in the middle of a job. Like, I don't know, that just sounded funny to me. One of the jobs I was the worst at was working for a theater company in Louisville. Like they actually get a lot of really good plays and musicals and stuff in Louisville, Kentucky. And I worked for the office or the box office or whatever, selling season passes. I was so bad at it. I think I only sold one pass the whole, I worked there probably.
You mean like you were a salesperson? Like you
had,
like your job was to
I would cold call people and be like, hey, do you like plays? Boy, do we have a deal for you. Oh geez, yeah, one night, this dude that kept telling me to call back, ended up being like the final time, like I took him off the list. He made a lot of very inappropriate aggressive sexual advances towards me.
Show people.
While I'm like, man, you could have just
said no.
Yeah, he didn't have
to. Or bought me a drink.
he didn't have to threaten.
Yeah, people are weird.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was I have some odd and interesting memories with theater.
The show. But I will say though so getting back to the releasing of movies, it's amazing because I stopped watching TV months ago. And so I'll usually, I can watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I do have Disney Plus because I love all the Jim Henson Muppet movies.
Okay.
And I love Pixar, and Disney's got some good movies. but I don't even watch Netflix anymore because I have Amazon Prime.
And
it's almost the same.
I need to cancel my Netflix. Thing. Like I've got a couple more episodes of the Transformers cartoon to watch, and then I think I'm going to cancel it. I don't like the I don't know. I just need to save the money. The only thing I really watch, if I do watch anything, is on Hulu. I watch Bob's Burgers on Hulu. Yeah. And the only things that I would want to watch, but I don't have, would be on HBO Max.
Yeah. But to think of it though, got HBO. I'm just thinking about my phone. HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon
worse than
Prime.
When cable was that
right? So tell me what's
there's
on TV.
Also Paramount Plus.
Right, and there's the Peacock now, right? You can get the ABC shows.
The Peacock.
And so all of a sudden it's like, so you've got a movie coming out, and then what's really interesting about Netflix, now there is something on Netflix that I want to see because they commissioned the Henson family, Jim Henson family, to do a series of The Dark Crystal.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
And so, no, see, the Dark Crystal movie is one of my favorite movies.
It got canceled after one season.
They said they didn't pick it up because it's too expensive. But
yeah, it's really good.
That's what Alex was saying, and I remember seeing it at a glance, going, because I'm such a snob to like Jim Henson stuff, because he just played such a pivotal role in puppeteering and art in the stories.
Have you heard about that Gonzo is trans now?
You mean the puppet is trans?
Yes.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought the whole thing with Gonzo was nobody knew what he was.
That was the whole thing with Gonzo.
That was the whole thing. Nobody knew that. So he had a beak, and then he's furry,
and he had sex with chickens because he's married to a chicken. So. Right. So in the Muppet Babies cartoon, it's been all over the news. Speaking of Jim, actually, this is a good transition to a current news topic. In the Muppet Babies cartoon, the new one that is on Disney Plus, Gonzo, they do like a Cinderella-like story, and Gonzo wants to dress up as a princess, and Miss Piggy makes fun of him, and then.
It's a whole story.
The rat turns him into a princess, and then whenever the cake comes out, he goes back to being normal Gonzo, and he was like, I'm a princess too, or something. Right. And so
on the inside, right?
Yeah. So the that is.
Pardon me. I'm gonna sneeze on camera. Excuse me.
You're gonna.
I'm sneezing. Sorry.
I know. You're gonna give me something to have to edit out.
I'm having.
Bless you.
Thank you. You can edit that out if you need to, but we've had tremendous fires.
I was gonna say.
And we have the red and brown skies.
So the fires are up near you?
They're about 50 miles up north.
Okay.
But I live in a valley, and so for the last week, it's been
nothing but
very
smoke.
Warm outside. It's just been smog. It's all, it looks like cloud cover.
Yeah, I heard the news is saying it's one of the worst ones on record.
Yeah, and that's the thing of all of a sudden going, like clearing your throat. Well, yeah, it feels like allergies, but it's got to be just breathing and all this smoke.
Yeah, it's a lot of the.
It's got to be.
Like when we had 2 years ago, when we had the ones like right outside LA that kind of creeped up into the valley a little bit. It was it was raining ash, or not rain, and so my allergies were going haywire. So it's a lot of the smoke in the air.
Let's give you a little size and scale of California. California is such a big state. It's like 80% is a forest.
How big is it?
It's very big. But the fact that we love to live in the forest, and because it seems that if you just fly into Northern California and it looks kind of flat, you see mountains and hills and things around.
I drove through the forest in the one, driving up the one, like the PCH. It goes through the forest up there. It's super cool.
Super cool.
But
it's too moist there. There's no fires there because it's too moist. It's more inland and up north. And but there's just all around Sacramento on your way to Tahoe. It just goes on for hundreds of miles of beautiful, beautiful forest but we as humans get closer and closer to it because it's just amazing. And so I think that's between 50 years ago and now,
trees
the last
are cool.
couple of years, trees are cool. And so normally, because those of us who spent our whole lives in California, this is fire season. Fire season is from May until October. Not surprising for wild forest fires to happen. Usually it's like, the Santa Ana winds. So it's up in your area in Southern California. We have them too. It's usually by lightning, right? It's just what's happening is
I'm just waiting for the one down here to eventually happen. Like sometime by September, something down here will catch on fire.
Yeah. I have a friend who works in like the Army Corps, and all he does is a firefighter, and he works those 6 months out of the year. Just waiting for the calls.
A friend of mine was in prison during the fires, and he was one of the prison firefighters for the one that was out here a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. It is. I think because you had your friend who isn't he a fire specialist or a fire engineer?
Well, no,
on your show, Play Nice.
He is a environmental scientist, and at the time, the park that he works at was currently going through prescribed burning to prevent fire, like because fire season was coming up.
Right.
And they're out in the desert. And so they're doing prescribed burning to prevent what's going on up north.
And so that's what's so interesting about being here in California, growing up and being kind of educated on what's going on. They're constantly working half the year in terms of how do we make it better next year? Because it's coming, because we live in the forest. The state is so much agriculture and so much land that is just wild and stunningly beautiful. But there's little tiny bits and pieces that we live in, that we require things such as transmitters for electricity. And so there's some man-made fires, and there's some just natural fires caused by lightning. And so it's just a wild.
And composting, I think, is another, or from brush not being removed. And so just
that's the big fight. So it's so amazing. It's depending what state, because California, Washington, Oregon, right? All forest. So every state handles their forestry differently. And what it is because it's natural for a tree to die after so many, 40, 50 years. But the trees that are dying, that are just either just left hollow and dying, and all that dead brush and branches on the ground, those are like tinder to a fire. So that's always the argument between the environment.
Yeah, you want to keep the ground level to where when the flames, you want to keep the flames low enough to where they don't touch the branches of the trees.
Right.
So because that way because if it just burns out the brush and the under stuff, so if you keep the brush down, then it won't really affect the trees. I saw a really good picture of this on Facebook a few days ago, where it showed the proper brush amount and what happens when the brush is too high, because then that means that the flames leap up to the tree branches, and then it just takes everything out.
Yeah. It's so interesting, and it's just like a constant conundrum, because we want to protect our forests, and yet who's responsible? It's federal land and or state. And then we have people who want to live in that environment, which is like what I would always call, looks like you're in Tahoe. Just up in the Oakland Hills, it looks like you're in Tahoe. It's just these beautiful redwoods, beautiful. It's just amazing, just up in the Berkeley Hills, the Oakland Hills. So there's so many places that if something went, and well, that just happened. Not just happened. Many years ago when they had the Oakland fires, all those beautiful Oakland homes went up in smoke because those trees were catching on fires. And that was when the fire keeps growing and growing and growing, but that it's going to hit as everything that it hits. But the back and forth between what we say we want to preserve these lands and then how to take care of them. There's so many smart people on both sides trying to debate it. And yet when there's a fire, it's not great for the humans because we're breathing all that smoke. And yet there is a little part of it that's a natural progression of, if we weren't here as humans, there'd be fires. There'd be fires that would never go out, right? They would just go out until they.
That's why most of the responsible parks try to do prescribed burning.
Yeah, of course.
I should talk to Danny. We should have him on to.
It's just really interesting because you
talk about that because because he's well versed in all the science of it.
Right, and so on both sides of it, because after the town of Paradise burned down with those fires, and then PG&E was culpable for it because they tracked it down to they hadn't done proper maintenance on their transmitter. But then the Sacramento Bee came out with a series to say over the last 12 years, we've been reporting this story that because we've left things, because we keep putting human homes and communities deeper and deeper into these lands, that it's kind of playing Russian roulette with the fires, because the fire is going to go when they go. So whether it's a transmitter, because that was their whole point, it's like the transmitter that was not good, and all that, because and then just have the discussion of who's really responsible, because as a citizen, we think, who's supposed to handle that? Do we handle, because it's on our periphery, but then you think of the devastation with an entire town. And like, I just think of, like, if you're here in Northern California, you could go 100 miles up north. Everything looks like you live in the forest up in the Sacramento Hills. It's just stunningly beautiful. That's one of the attributes of California. But I would never think of the fires, even though I guess if I lived in the middle of it. But it's like as we grow as a state with people get further and further into the splendor and the beauty of it. But then who takes care of I'm sure fire insurance has got to be pretty high in those areas. So, but anyway, yeah, that'd be great to talk to him about it. Just have that talk of just explain, because I don't know, because when a tragedy happens, whether it's homes burning,
there's a way to lessen it.
Yeah,
the damage,
and not have a political conversation, but really have it's like, what could be done. And I don't think people know. I think people, we just live on a periphery of, if you're not there, it's not part of your life, but it's horrific when when we all experience it. And
he was explaining that a lot of the confusion goes back to the Smokey the Bear campaign, preventing all forest fires, and so that in effect caused a backup of brush due to lack of man hours from people being able to clean the forest floors. Mm-hmm. And so there's a whole array of cause and effect. And so like the park he's working at, what they're trying to do is stay on top of the prescribed burning for proper brush removal, so that way they can preserve as much of the forest. And unfortunately, not all the park services have the man hours and the proper staffing to do that. And in different parts of the country, there's the weather as a factor.
Well, of course. Well, and that's the big thing.
Like,
because,
so you can't always get out to some of these places because of weather reasons, like, too cold in the winter and stuff like that. And so
and I want to say, I think it's Taniac. I think the fire way up north, right on the the California-Nevada border. Visiting my dad in Nevada, and they live about an hour, just right there in Sparks, right next to Reno, really close to the border. But the fire was all around there. same thing. So it is, like I said, fire season. What I don't recall is the amount of smoke. That's what I don't recall. So that's would be really interesting to talk to your friend about, is to say, we usually hear it up in the, we'll hear of the fire, but now it's like these fires, are they getting closer or are they just getting bigger? Because I know the one they're having right now, up in way up north, they said it's one of the largest forest fires ever.
Or you're just hearing about the fires more now that the the news cycle's smaller.
Or and then everybody and their brother can post it on social media, and
and so
it'd be really interesting.
Are the fires close to this? Yeah, the who knows,
right? And then so that's a kind of a current event on my side. I guess I segued that right into from the Muppet Babies. Oh, so let me go back to Netflix.
Yeah. So
anyway, so I was talking to Alex, and he's like, I said, wait, I didn't like this series as much, and he's like, it was really good. And then I went, I better really watch it again with not such a snob. It's hard because I love the story. I love the story of the Dark Crystal. It's one of my favorite stories. I love the mystics. I love the whole thing about how they're separated from the Skeksis and then Skeksis. I'm sorry. They hardly called it, but they're
called it a lot in the show.
Oh, but they're in the movie. I just remember. I remember everybody's name.
They go into all kinds of detail because the show happens way before the movie.
Because they set it up. They explain the whole splitting of the two. But I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like the good and the evil.
They'd already split.
Okay.
It's. Watch the show, like, because it's a long time before the it's sort of the telling of the like the wars that they talk about,
right
that ruin. It's sort of in that era.
But so I went back and started reading some of the reviews, and there people are saying it was amazing. Because when you watch the original Dark Crystal now, it's kind of funny.
The puppetry is really good,
right? Yeah,
the puppetry is really good. They did a really good job with that.
But the whole thing is that I went like, it was Netflix commission, so I don't have Netflix anymore. So now I'm thinking, should I get Netflix? Should I spend $6 to watch the series real quick, and then just cancel it? I guess I should
wait till Cobra Kai comes out.
Oh, are they gonna have a third season?
Fourth. I think. The fourth. Yeah, they just dropped a teaser trailer for it. So wait till.
Oh, no kidding.
So wait till the next season of Cobra Kai comes out in a couple weeks, and then you'll have
$6.
and then you'll have a couple things to watch.
But that's the whole thing. Is that so? I think there's a movie, and also I think too, what YouTube has done, what these 30-minute and 45-minute series have done is it's like I'm sitting like, do I want to sit and watch a 2-hour movie?
I also just don't think the stories are very good.
Yeah.
Like I think most of the people writing.
Do you know they're? Oh, I see. You don't think the stories are good before you before you watch it. And you're just like, what?
It's and most of everything that I have seen, I don't like the stories very well. Like I just don't really care for the writing. I think it's kind of lazy and hacky.
So do you think the movie industry is going to be now?
Oh yeah, because
like
it's all TV? No. I mean, okay. What's wrong with the movie industry is it's all writing by committees now.
Yeah.
Like it's writing through committees and checklists. Like there's not like
no weird.
There's not. Yeah, there's not that like passion for the project. It's all to make money.
Or to tell the story. Yeah.
Yeah, so the truly are like the true like artistic, like a lot of those like passion films are going by the wayside, and it's all sort of right by committee now. And
so I think that
it's all formulaic and empty, and it just doesn't entertain me. Like I get more entertainment out of the behind the scenes drama than I do the actual films. Like I don't care about any of the films. I just like watching the freak show behind the scenes. I like I like watching everybody react poorly to, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, that I think it's a lack of creativity, because it's just not. It's writing by committee, and less talented people, I feel, are shining through and getting the real opportunities with the money for some reason.
So I think, though, what's going to be really interesting to see is the future, right? So movie industry was like kind of waning, and then the independents came out, and all of a sudden they went, wait, there's an audience. Because if you spend $100,000 to make a movie and you get distribution and you make 100 million, and then that led to the big investors getting into the independent movies. And now we've reached the point of, okay, that doesn't happen anymore, because now all the independents are going to be shooting. I just saw a commercial for the iPhone, making your own movie on the iPhone. And I'm telling you, there's going to be something to that where people, all of us, even me with our basic laptops, has the ability to edit and clip and create a movie of some sort. I mean, we're going to do a commercial for the show. I'm working on doing.
I mean, commercials been a little generous. Well,
I'm going to do a video series for my coaching business. I'm going to do a video series, and I do not think I'm going to do all of them in one take. So it's going to take some editing.
More cartoons.
Well, if we're going to talk about Christmas lists, so what I'm saying is that maybe the next creative, because it is impossible to not have creatives running in the world. Look at the two of us, nutbergs. So, but in terms
of it, I think a lot of it's going to crowdfunding, and I'm trying to because I'm trying to figure out how to break into a couple communities, without it seeming weird and disingenuous,
Right, you have to. Right.
Hey guys, I want to raise money for my art too, because there's kind of a delicate way to approach those things,
Well, and for me personally, I think I like seeing things, especially in business or something creative, as a puzzle and putting it together in a way that's different. So it's just trying to innovate something based on something that's already been done. Say, hey, I have a twist on this, or I want to make it look different. I want to make it different. And so then I get passionate about where it can lead. And so I think that's just the authenticity of whatever you want to get into, Ryan, you'll get it. Because I think, people can tell if they're like, dude, you're just here to get money. And you're like, no, I want to, share my art. But my whole point to the future of Hollywood, it might be just a retread, because on YouTube or all these different streaming programs, people have their own video, their webcams. I bet there are, right now as we speak, people putting movies together who are super talented or telling stories. And I know, I don't know them personally, but artists that I really love their music, who just said, I can't break into the music industry. I'm going to start burning my own CDs and creating a YouTube channel. And the guy's got millions and millions and millions of followers. And he's concerts all over the world. So that's just one example of some. So I wonder, I don't know, but I just wonder if that's going to be where the trend goes, because the money goes where the people go. And if more and more people follow
people are attracted to authenticity. That's why more people are watching YouTube and citizen journalist type things than they are the corporate news. They're like, people are going to like stuff like not rising so much anymore. Their new channel, Breaking Points, Crystal and Sagar's new show. I don't know, a lot of those internet YouTube personalities, Jimmy Dore,
right,
the Young Turks. I don't really watch, but
right.
Tim Pool, the Quartering, that show. It's a very popular, whether you like or don't any of those. But that's where people are going.
Right. People going who just say, well, I think just like any big, and this is so interesting because you just look at it from a business point of view, not a political, not what your own, views are, just from a business point of view. The desperation from media, from newspapers, the decline of newspapers, and then they media,
really messed up with the pandemic when people when they figured out that people would rather watch, like, since normal people are doing the same quality as like CNN and Fox and all of them were doing with their from at home things, and they realized people would just rather watch regular people give their honest opinions and give or just, show actual research that they did,
or just say this is what's happening, and you might be seeing this, and this is what we're seeing. Not I'm going to now give you 3 hours of my opinion.
What I like is there are a lot of people that actually read and go through a lot of these court documents and things that are brought up in the news, and I have zero patience for any of that. So I find people that have the patience and time to read those documents and kind of summarize it, so I can be like, oh, okay, so that's what it is, because you can't count on the cable and mainstream news to actually report like the actual facts or what are inside any of these.
And that's what's an amazing thing
court cases.
Right. It's an amazing thing for consumers to hear and see, because just like when we were kids in the old days, there was radio stations, and radio stations, most of them were independently owned. And then over the years, big companies started buying them out, right? And then it was, no more DJs. That was your favorite DJs that you bring keychains and you listen in the morning. No more DJs. Now it was just a set of music and commercials. So then it started to cancel out the musicians and the managers, so it was all the deals were done in like corporate offices.
I had to do a semester of radio as a DJ. For college, I was actually had to learn the broadcast system that they all use to set up. Like, I didn't like it. Like, it was so weird. Like, you weren't like our college station adhered to all of the regular. They were giving it us as close to a legitimate radio experience as possible. And so, like, that was kind of the point. It was sort of on the job experience, but as a class. And so each of us had to do a shift at the college radio station. And you are told exactly what to play, when to play it, like even when to do a kind of a news or weather segment, like when you're supposed to tell the time. You're only allowed the choice of like maybe one or two songs, a whole shift of something that you want to actually play.
So what did that move into? Right. So then people are like, well, wait, we don't have our favorite DJ anymore. That's going to morph into Sirius. And and then and that it took many years to do it. But for the longest time, it's either had classic country, classic rap, classic this, and then it was that whole thing of where's the underground music?
Yeah,
where's
I stopped listening to the radio in the early 2000s because I listened to mostly underground and independent music, and none of it was ever on the radio.
The musician, is to get that listenership through radio stations and then to do concerts all over, but you need to have that listenership buying your records to get a venue, and it's just catch-22. But once the companies that own the radio station said, we're going to make the deals with these people, then it's kind of like all the new talent, or it was like this handpicked. There's just so many talented people who didn't get a shot because of the way the cookie crumbled, even in the beginning. But then now it's people are making their own music because we have to make music, and then they're and so now we have so my point is that now we've gone to such an extreme where we are so inundated with dopamine hits of information that the only way the news media, the general news media, can get our attention is by shock and awe, which is everything's terrible, everything's at 11, everyone's going to die soon. And so then, but I just saw this poll, like a nationwide poll that say that the most Americans just don't trust the media because it's not news anymore. Because what we used to think it was news, which I think is glorious, because I think we need to see what's really happening in front of us. But then all of a sudden, and then that springs up the next group of people going, oh yeah, I don't want to hear, or what we've learned, that a lot of the journalists we thought were regular news people are actually operatives of some sort, activists of some sort. And that's our prerogative. I don't have to watch it, but it's just interesting.
In most of the events, if you actually look at what happens through most of the events, I mean, like, and actually take the time, like I was saying, to go through the paperwork for the events.
Right.
Like, what actually happens and what's presented on mainstream news are oftentimes skewed.
Well, because the lead,
so,
or the title of the article has to get somebody to click it, because the click is what makes money. And instead of it being a newspaper being purchased, which makes money, it's the click and how long they're on the page. And that's the business of media right now. And it's almost, that's what sometimes I look at some of the stuff and I'll go, they don't even care. They just need you to click on it. They don't care if it changes your life. It doesn't care. So, because I kept thinking, these are really prominent papers that have kind of stooped to a level that is pretty amazing. And then I think it's a business. It's not necessarily a moral compass. And now, because of the competition, which is us, you and I are sitting here creating a space to have other people come and join us and talk. And we could have people on, for an hour a week.
We're like a regular Regis and Kelly.
Well, it's not just that, but all of a sudden,
or Regis and Kathy.
Right.
Depending on their era.
Right. With our 3 or 4 followers, we're 4 followers, including the 2 of us. That's 1 hour of non-ad time that a large media company is not getting.
Right. And then until we get monetized on YouTube, let's get those 1,000 subscribers so we can interrupt with ads.
Right. But so we've talked about the current events, which I think the show's going really well tonight. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah.
Good. So they're super excited because we're at our show 16.
15.
We're at show 15, but we technically done 17. One, didn't we? Is there only one we didn't do that we didn't show?
Yeah, there's
only one in the vault.
Yeah, there's the one that wasn't recorded. I don't know.
Okay. So I'm sorry. We're show 15, and we're now going to be working fast and furious because now Ryan has the capability, because I just show up and get to talk, but Ryan is now making us able to have a guest. So we are going to have our first guest.
Oh, Ryan
soon.
Finally had the time and patience to sit down and do some graphic design work. Is really what it was. Like, I finally had time to make the overlay. So, yeah.
So, but we're excited because that's what we want to do, is not just me jibber jabber for an hour every week. We want to jibber jabber with you. Right?
Yeah.
And we want to actually increase our viewers, and we want to make it a place where people can feel relaxed, not like they're being interviewed. It's just like they're talking about things that are interesting. We'll bring people on that are interesting. Of course, our number one fan, Chef Jenny Fox. We want to talk to her about her cooking, of course, and some of her funny stories.
If you have a show, or know someone that has a show that you think would be fun to have either one of us on, please also reach out, because we would love to start appearing on other people's channels.
Yeah,
as well. So I just want to throw that out there. So if any of the listeners, any of the 3 of you, if you guys have a show or know someone that has a show that would want either one of us on, or both of us, if they really want to get brave, then please let us know about that too, because I think it would be super fun to go on other people's shows as well as have them on. And if you know of guests that we could get or want, and also
if Sam Tripoli's watching, Ryan is willing and able to go on your show at any time.
Yes, I would love to. I don't know what I would talk about on
Sam Tripoli fan.
Tinfoil hat.
And so I just wanted to put that out there because he mentions that to me every time we talk off the show. So we'll just put that out into the universe. Sam Tripoli, if you're watching or listening, Ryan would be a great guest.
On one of your any of your 14, 15 podcasts that you have.
He's happy to do them all.
Yeah.
One or all 14.
one or all of them.
So super excited for the future of the Rita and Ryan show. We're getting ready to bring people on to entertain you and to, of course, increase our viewership so we can get people having a good
time. I mean, not to get money.
we have 4 followers. We need 996 more.
I just want to be
qualify.
Somewhat.
They would think we have to have 4,000 hours of viewership. So we got a ways to go, but come along for the journey, come along for the party. And we really want to talk to you because and then you don't have to have a show. You just have to have something fun to talk about. Right, Ryan?
Yes.
But if you know Sam Tripoli, hook Ryan up.
Yeah, that would be fun.
How are we doing on time?
We are 55 minutes.
It's time to end the show. Do you have anything you want to say before we go, Ryan?
Make sure to support creator-owned and independent content, whether it's musicians, comedians, artists. I'm into comics and so like creators that do skits, movies, like support them. Tip your whatever trinkets or things they're selling or any types of way that they can receive some financial donation. Tip them, take care of them, help support independent creators in any way you can, because it's the only way to save art, and we should save art.
We should save art, and I'm going to segue because my passion is supporting small businesses and the independent business owner. So just a reminder, if you are in your neighborhood, and just in the last year and a half, we have gotten out of the habit of going to our local merchants to support them, but they need support. They're kind of fighting back right now. So that's pretty much my passion and my mission. So not only create the arts, buy local. Everybody wants to do it. Sometimes you just get out of that habit. So remember those people in your neighborhood, look them up, and they're there to help you. And that's where I'm headed, just helping small businesses try to recover and redesign and adapt from the last year and a half. Yeah. So and
a lot of them are doing online stores and stuff now. So if there's
so much,
look them up, go to their websites and support local businesses.
So you thought we were just two goofy people just sitting here talking, but we have a mission and a purpose, and a lot of it is just creating those innovators, entrepreneurs, artists, and supporting them, because they're out there trying to make a living. They don't need to make trillions of dollars, but they need our support, and sometimes they just need a voice. So that's what we're here to help them. And we probably should have some business owners on too in the future, Ryan.
Yes, I got a couple in mind.
I do too. I had a really great consultation with a naughty shop. It's called the Naughty Shop.
Oh.
And I have some funny stories. I should bring the owner in. I should, because it's kind of like a high-end porn shop, but they don't say the P word. They say naughty, which is very funny. But that's a small business people support. And you know what? No, not all joking aside, it was considered essential during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was.
Is so funny? But it's so funny because the whole idea is they call it a naughty shop instead of a over 21 or XXX, just based on the location. There's a whole chain of them throughout the United States. Just cracks me up. It's good, strong business.
Funny.
Good business model. But anyway, there's all kinds of fun we're about to have in the future. So stay tuned. Look forward to seeing you again, and I'll have Ryan send us out.
Yes. So don't forget to run by smallbusinesspodcast.org. Check out what Rita's got going on. Swing by trashcanconductor.com. Check out my cartoons, music, There's some Rita and Ryan merch there, and thank you guys for coming along and enduring the journey with us and keeping hope alive. And I'm was trying to kill 15 seconds.
Oh dear!
There we go. Thank you. I just wanted to cross the 1 hour mark. So thanks, guys. We appreciate you listening. Subscribe, hit the like button, and
all good.
We are out.